What's up, buddy? I miss you. I love you. Hope everything's going okay, man.
Rabbit.
Well,
Let's
there's
play
a rabbit's
Xbox
nest in
again
my
sometime.
house somewhere, and my dog is killing all the babies.
Yeah.
I walked into my room this morning, and my dog was eating a baby rabbit. I ran out screaming. My sister thought it was hilarious.
Not good. Not good. Bad. Very bad.
I cried.
Okay. So this is actually, what are we at, lecture? Is this our fourth lecture now?
I think so.
Fourth day to lecture? Good. We're doing good.
Better go
Yeah. Fourth lecture. Here's how we're having to do these. If you miss a lecture, if you're absent, you can benefit from what Jarrett's having to do. These are being uploaded on YouTube for Jarrett to watch because you can't pass this if you are not watching, if you're not in on lecture. Just seeing the prezi and getting the notes is not going to be enough. He would never pass this test if he wasn't getting the lectures also.
This is a death
So if you miss a day and you want to catch a lecture, it's going to be uploaded for you. However, on YouTube, it is listed a day behind because the first day's lecture I gave to him on a DVD, so that was lecture 1. So on YouTube, it's what says lecture 1 is actually lecture 2.
I'm going to get on.
So today's lecture will say lecture 3 when it's actually lecture 4.
I'm going to
You're gonna be famous.
So we really don't have to come to school anymore.
Why don't you just try that? Yeah, I'm sure that the office will love that. Well, the deal is it's not under my name at all. It's under Miss Martin's name. She's the one that set it all up. We just did it really quickly.
What's her
and
name on
it's Ashley Martin, but you just look it up, Renaissance Art, lesson 1, and then you'll see they'll probably all pop up. If it doesn't, it'll be under Ashley Martin. So.
If you see someone called Sniper Bait leaving dirty comments on it, it's me.
You don't have much trouble. All that stuff can get you into, so don't do things like that.
You really
I'm
won't
just
know
telling
it's
you.
me.
I'm just telling you, if you were
What if somebody
absent,
hacks his YouTube and doesn't?
and you, oh, well, whatever, they're not going to do that. He's going to get in trouble, all on his own, trust me. Doesn't Jake look fully capable? Okay. So we're going to go on to the next debut painting. We looked at the death of Socrates last time. And this is my favorite debut painting. This is the death of Marat.
I've seen this one before. Did he kill himself?
He did not kill himself, he was murdered.
It looks like he killed himself.
Wait, where is the other painting at? The Socrates painting at? I fell asleep at the class last
I can't help that. Just move on.
I'm gonna fail.
Okay, David was actually a personal friend of Marat, and he was asked to come in and paint this painting of Marat after Marat had been murdered by Charlotte Corday, as the information there says. Charlotte had lied to gain entrance to see Marat. Marat had a skin disease, and he was regularly found in the bathtub, and he would see people in his bathtub. He had his bathtub set up with a table thing in the front of it, which you see here. See this wooden part right here, and he's got a green sheet over the front of it. See, so he had it set up where people couldn't see inside the tub, but he was comfortable inside there. The water probably had like oatmeal and baking soda and things like this that made his skin feel comfortable. When he wasn't in the water, he would be in pain, and so this is what he did a lot, sat in the water, and people would come and he would
like
prepare.
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that weird? I know. And he would have people come in and see him. So she came in, and of course there were people, he was wealthy, and he had doormen and people who worked for him, and they would come and say, you know, so-and-so's here to see you, and this is their business, and he would decide whether or not he was going to see them. And this is a story that he was going to see this lady, and she ended up killing him. So I'm going to read to you the story here that I have about it. This time period. France was in danger, and the revolution was in peril. The Committee of Public Safety had just been created, and the Reign of Terror had begun. Marat, who was Robespierre's friend, a deputy to the convention, and editor-in-chief of the Les Amis des Peuples, was a fiery orator. He was also a violent man, quick to take offense. Some saw him as an intransigent patriot. For others, he was merely a hateful demagogue. On July 13th of 1793, a young royalist from Cayenne, Charlotte Corday, managed by a clever subterfuge to gain entry into his apartment. When Marat agreed to receive her, she stabbed him in his bathtub, where he was wont to sit hour after hour treating the disfiguring skin disease from which he suffered. Deville, who had been Marat's colleague in the convention, saw in him a model of antique virtue. The day after the murder, Deville was invited by the convention to make arrangements for the funeral ceremony and to paint Marat's portrait. He accepted with enthusiasm, but the decomposed state of the body made a true-to-life representation of the victim impossible. This circumstance, coupled with Deville's own emotional state, resulted in the creation of this idolized image. Marat is dying. His eyelids droop. His head weighs heavily on his shoulder. His right arm slides to the ground. His body, as painted by Deville, is that of a healthy man, still young. The scene inevitably calls to mind a rendering of a previous painting that Deville did. The face is marked by suffering, but is also gentle and suffused by growing peacefulness as the pains of death loosen their grip. Deville has surrounded Marat with a number of details borrowed from his subject's world: the green covering, white sheet, and wooden packing case, and he has also added a few others, including the knife and Charlotte Cortay's petition, attempting to suggest through these objects both the victim's simplicity and grandeur and the perfidy of the assassin. The petition, which let's go to that. This is a song as he did to do the face of Marat. Okay, and we'll go to the petition. Here it is. This says, "My great unhappiness gives me a right to your kindness. The assignat Marat was preparing for some poor unfortunate." This is what it said. "You will give this assignat to that mother of 5 children whose husband died in the defense of his country. The makeshift writing table and the mended sheet are the means by which Deville discreetly bears witness to his admiration and indignation." Oops. Go back. Sorry. The face, the body, and the objects are suffused with a clear light, which is softer as it falls on the victim's features and harsher as it illuminates the assassin's petition. Deville leaves the rest of his model in shadow. In this sober and subtle interplay of elements can be seen in perfect harmony with the drawing the blend of compassion and outrage Deville felt at the sight of the victim. The painting was immediately the object of extravagant praise. Then, returned by the convention to Deville in 1795, it was rescued from obscurity only after Deville's death. Misunderstood by the Romantics, who saw it only as a cold classicism, it was restored to a place of honor by Baudelaire, who wrote, "This is the bread of the strong and the triumph of spiritualism. As cruel as nature, this painting is redolent of the ideal. What then was that ugliness which holy death so quickly erased with the tips of her wings? Marat can henceforth defy Apollo. Death has kissed him with her loving lips, and he rests in the tranquility of his metamorphosis. There is, in this work, something at once tender and poignant. In the cold air of this room, on these cold walls, around this cold and funereal bathtub, a soul flutters." Personally, I have never read anything so beautiful as what Baudelaire says there about a painting, and I think it is exactly perfect.
So what was his skin
He
disease?
almost looks like he's smiling.
We don't know. I mean, he does, right? Yeah. We don't know what his skin disease was. We don't understand it fully. I mean, if it was disfiguring and so painful that he spent hours and hours a day in a bathtub, I mean, this is going to be beyond what we know as eczema, right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, it would be. It
might
could
have
be.
Leprosy or something?
It could be. Well, I don't think so actually, because water doesn't typically help that. But it could be something along the line as like an eczema, but an extreme form of it where it's thickened the skin, and you guys have seen that on people before they have
I
it
think
thick.
I have that on my
Psoriasis
leg.
of the skin.
Me and my dad have it.
There's a teacher at my mom's school that hers is really, really bad. Well, she's not mom's school anymore. She retired a while ago, but hers was really, really bad.
Yeah.
And like her being in the pool and stuff in the
Right.
summer would help a lot.
Right. And see, so that's probably along those lines what you're talking about, a really extremely bad case of it for him to be disfigured by it and to be in so much pain that he would sit for hours and hours every day in these,
What happens when the
water.
water gets cold?
well, he just has somebody bring him hot water, you know?
It screwed up.
Yeah.
Was he that
Yeah.
rich? Bring me
Yeah.
the hot
He
How
well.
did who's Maroon? I don't understand who he is.
Marat was one of the leaders during the French Revolution. You remember the Reign of Terror, all that stuff you studied or should have studied.
The death of Marat.
The Reign of Terror. Do you remember Robespierre, the guy who chopped everybody's head off with the guillotine and eventually got his own head chopped off with the guillotine? Well, Robespierre and Marat were friends, and Deville was a friend of Marat's. Deville was a painter, obviously, but this is one of those leaders during that time. And what had happened to Charlotte was Charlotte's husband was in the army and had actually been killed. Charlotte had 5 children, and what she was trying to say was that she wasn't receiving any benefits. So that was her whole plot to get in there, which was true, but she had no intention, she didn't care about any of that, she was going to kill him. She blamed him for the death of her husband, and, he's writing back, to give money to the widow, that's what he's writing back on the petition there, as you saw. But she didn't have any intention, she didn't care about that, she wanted to kill him because she blamed,
full out crazy.
right, she blamed him for what happened.
A lot of girls go crazy after their husband dies.
I don't know why.
Yeah, well, she did, she was mad, and, she had 5 children, and,
Well, back then women
They
didn't
knew
have
what they were getting
rights.
into.
If their husband
Yeah.
died, everything of theirs is gone.
right,
Unless they had a son
now
that
she had
was
5 kids that didn't know how she was going to raise them, and her husband was dead. Besides that, her husband's dead. Point out,
Yeah,
And she
so
blamed
everything
them.
was
She
gone.
blamed the leaders of the convention for what happened. So, there he is, Marat. Absolutely beautiful. It is one of my favorites. For a couple of years, I had it on my, what's that thing called?
Wallpaper.
Yes.
Now it's Michael Phelps.
Yeah, now it's Michael Phelps, but Marat was on there, but every now and then people are like, why you got a dead guy on there? I know it seems a little morose, but if you don't understand the pain, I guess it would be a little strange, right?
So
Dead guy.
the gate across the bottom is his sign his picture.
Actually, this is like a tombstone, isn't it? I mean,
Yeah,
this,
that's what I thought.
you have Marat here, and then Deville has painted all this stuff, but yeah, this looks like a tombstone to me, is how I take it.
Isn't that kind of how they made them?
Yeah. Yeah, but I do find a lot of beauty in this. I know it's a gruesome scene, obviously, but you can see everything Baudelaire described there. I see this,
His body is just kind of like you can tell, like he looked like he was muscled and.
It really looks like he commits suicide because the way that his hand is drooped down on the bottom, and then it looks like he's just holding something that he slit his wrist open with.
Next
Looks like he
picture.
worked out.
But not. I mean, because this is where the cut is from the knife that's down
Oh,
here.
I didn't even see that. That's gotta be.
But this face, I think, is wonderfully done. And then we have sketch that he did before. And again, as I
See, look
said,
at like his neck. It might just be from the way his
Right.
his skin, but it still looks like his skin is like elephant skin.
yes,
It looks like psoriasis.
He might have elephantitis.
the psoriasis that you get.
What is elephantitis?
Sound like good word to say. He's got elephantitis. Very good. Very well done.
He's like the elephant man.
Who's taking French? Y'all read this?
No.
Marie and Charlotte, Monday and City.
Corday,
It's basically saying Corday has
Corday.
murdered
Sophie, K. I don't know.
I don't know.
that much.
Okay. We'll move on to the coronation of Napoleon. Napoleon!
Napoleon's an idiot.
The little short guy.
Short guy that was an idiot.
If you ask Miss
Not
Palmer,
very
she
long
thinks he
ago.
is not that short.
No. He does get a reputation.
Not very
For
long
being
ago,
really short, but he wasn't.
ring that he
He's
bought
mad.
his lover or whatever, his wife or whatever, put up for sale at an auction, and it brought like more than anything was brought recently. It was a
Now tell me what it was again.
It was a ring that he had made for his
Josephine?
wife, for his lover, or whatever. And it brought a ton. And they said for him for how much he probably would have paid for it, it would have been a crap ton at that time.
Wow.
Crap ton of money.
Crap ton. It's a crap
Crap ton.
ton. How much is that? A crap ton.
A heck of a lot.
That's a lot.
A lot, a lot.
It's a lot of money. It's a lot.
A lot of money, Mike.
Mhm.
Yes.
Cheat on.
Yeah. The coronation of Napoleon is in the Louvre in Paris.
It's on the very last page.
Deville was Napoleon's official court painter. Well, yeah. I mean, if you're Napoleon and you want somebody to come and be it's going to be Deville, right? He's going to be the man,
Was
right?
Napoleon the general and revolutionary?
Right at the, yeah,
Because they helped us out.
yeah.
He's the one that,
Well, not the American Revolution.
That's what I mean.
Right. No, I thought you were talking about the French Revolution.
I didn't know how long he reigned. For,
He's the one that got exiled.
yeah, I thought
Yeah.
so.
Let's look at this
Can I come up?
master.
Why?
All right, ready?
How do you
Yeah,
say
why?
his first name again?
Jacques Louis. Jacques Louis. Oh, somehow we had blown up.
I was gonna say that's not.
I know, I was really
Okay, so-
confused.
Hold on.
I think we're not here.
This is kind of a blow up of it too, but it looks like that.
Hold on. I think it's on the
I don't
last
know what happened to my painting. Maybe if I hit it one more time.
So where is Napoleon?
Okay, I see
This
it.
is
It's
the
on
Oh.
with the crown in his hand.
page
above
10
Josephine.
of our picture packet. I guess.
We hit it one more time and see if that's
I
me.
think it's page 10.
I'm pretty sure it's the
It
last
is,
one
it's
on
the
page
last
10.
one on page 10.
Damn.
Well, that's all.
What happened? I think I misconnected to it somehow. It's a little bigger than that, Jarrett. Sorry. I don't know what happened.
Just,
It's the very last one on page 10.
just type on it.
Last one on page 10.
Just take your hands and bring it in.
Well, no, I think that's not what I'm talking about. This is my blow-up version.
Oh.
See, somehow didn't link to it. I'll go back. I don't know where I put it.
What is that?
It's a
Those are
blow-up of
the
the
three-
girls. The girls are in the background. I just want to see the little details on all their dresses and stuff. Aren't they pretty?
I like
So
that.
Napoleon in his study and Napoleon crossing the Alps. Guessing those are the V2.
Yeah. So here, that's a blow-up of it. It's a very, very large painting.
Lunch
So
time.
lunch right now, Jarrett, and we're going to talk more about it, okay? So this is the end of part 1. Let's explore part 1.
Hopefully I can do it. Art fire. You're gonna fluff fire.
No, I'm pretty sure my stomach's already on fire.